The reason why I did your reading and Cancer and Libra are last, there's a few reasons why that are now more comical to me in this moment. However, it doesn't feel comical for those signs. So, Cancer, this is your reading. And I just want to kick back and just talk to you. And like, that's it. Because that's kind of just how this feels right now. This moment in time, there's really not much that can be said that's going to change what's happening with you. So, and just like Libra, there's something changing with the cardinal signs that talking is not actually helpful for the signs that actually need to, love to talk. And that's us. Especially about when we're, if it's some bullshit, we can tend to want to talk about that bullshit. And so let's just talk about you instead of the bullshit. And I think those two signs are also realizing, like, and here you are realizing, just talk about you. You're realizing more and more what makes you feel better, work better, do better. You're realizing in your own time and time again, how you move. And it's not going to be the same way as other people. It's not going to be the way they move. However, you can't explain why you move the way you move or how you move the way you move. You just kind of got to let Cancers move, Like, sorry. You guys just have to, like, be allowed to move because you're going to do it regardless. You don't care if this person says this wall is too this or this is too much. Like, no, you're like, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to do this, or this is going to get done, or I'm doing something. And like, a lot of times that's why, you guys can seem like you work with other people, and you do. You know how to talk to people, you know how to, you know how to do the whole relationship thing, like the real relationship thing with all different kinds of people. But when you want to get something done, just like Libra, you do it alone. Why? Because the control, that's the control. You're a creature that knows that it'll get done in the time that you want, and you don't have to worry about the time. It's not in the time. There doesn't need to be a certain amount of time. It's just like, how it's getting done, as opposed to what someone around you, like, it's like you working on a painting and having someone stand there and watch you do the painting the whole time, and they're not going to understand the process. They're not going to understand that things look interesting, things look weird, things look off until the finished product. You get that. You also realize during this time that the light at the end of the tunnel is you not doing that. So as much as you want to go into revert mode and go into that shell and be less vulnerable, less seen, it's all out here already. So it's just more about what's important. What is important to be, how is it to be useful for you, right? So the King of Pentacles is very much asking you, and then the Nine of Swords, and then the Sun, like, it's coming, everything's coming out to light. So it's hard to word this because regardless, most of you are probably the ones that hold on to, most can't, like, especially in this lifetime, you're holding on to things, even if they're not good for you, or even if just because they've been there a long time, or certain values, because what the mystery feels like, and even as much as you love it, in certain aspects you don't. And we've all, especially the cardinal signs, have had to allow the mutable to come in and shift it, and allow the fixed to say, hey, this has worked before, this was really good at this point, but it's not working anymore because you keep coming back here. So the thing is, it's learning how to let yourself change. Let yourself change, be the change, and have people trust your change and learning to trust, like you learning to trust it. And then because of that, in turn, the people around you or the people that you work closely with or the people that you have to communicate with more so than not, they'll start to trust you more because you know how you feel about the changes you're going through. Imagine how they feel about the changes you're going through, even though it's none of their fucking business. But if you, especially if you have kids though, I mean, it's not that easy. And I get it. So I just think that I'm feeling so much for these signs that I'm just like, I just needed to talk to you. So what's revealing to you, especially during, this will come out the day before the Leo full moon. So the Leo full moon is going to expose a lot about what that seed you've been kind of moving towards within yourself that's caused you to feel upset or sad. And there's this moment during the full moon cycle, that you realize what it's going to take to shift. The beautiful thing is that it comes to you. Like you have your answer kind of just swoops in for you. It's just going to ask you to be uncomfortable longer than maybe you want to. Or it's going to ask you to, really be as vulnerable as you feel. A boundary up here allows putting the boundary here allows this other portion of you to shift. And we've talked about that a lot. And now, I think seeing this here, you can see how uncomfortable I am for you. It's just, yeah. Seeing how you choose to not only play, not like play your cards, but play in this moment, whatever it is that you're in on and you're working on, whatever it is that you are currently creating in your life or working hard to achieve every day, whether it's something completely emotional or completely physical or a mixture of both, which it usually is, it's really important not to be hard on yourself about this, because the only thing that's going to cause you is for this beautiful thing to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming struggle. Because if you have the right boundaries in play with these aspects of your life, you have help. You may need to ask for more help, because a lot of times when we go through these changes, like especially if it's a layered change and it's a really big shift, the more support that you have means that the shift that's happening is going to have a better foundation. And support looks different at different times, right? So it may not be what you needed years ago or what you'll need in the future, but it's allowing the support. The support allows all that shifting to be in its best possible way, so that when it all comes together, it's a beautifully molded space. You have to be patient for sure, and that's a huge part of it. And I know cardinal signs, we can get very impatient with certain things, especially when we know if X, Y, and Z happens, like, we're good. But the thing is that when you're working with multiple pieces who have their own free will, or people, or even artists, we talk about how it's like you have to allow that art to speak to you too. So it's giving that space and room. And yeah, there might be some emotions that come from it, but it could be this beautiful experience for you to realize, like, oh, I know what I need now. I know what I need to allow everything to fall into place or hold me up. Because when you're vulnerable and showing yourself, you still need that support. You still need to know that you're going to be backed. And what is the mother, Cancer, being the mother, the cosmic mother, what do you need more than anything? Well, you need to just allow yourself to put your hair down and be backed without doing anything crazy. Like, so when Cancers, put their hair, like, let their hair down, it doesn't have to be a tidal wave just for fun. It can be that you're fully supported, which is the masculine, around you, so that you can take a proper look at what's happening with you. So whether that means you need to ask for more, like you need to, get yourself into therapy or coaching or something that resonates with you, or just doing something for yourself that can help those spaces with someone that you can build trust with someone who is going to see the special qualities that you have and that you bring to everything that's happening, but they're not going to want to change it. They're only going to want to enhance it. You can love chaos too. And yet right now, it would be really nice, I know, to have some peace. The only way you're going to get it, though, is if you actually give it to yourself. And in Aquarius season, that could be difficult because this season we go right into Pisces season, which will actually probably feel better. But there's a change happening, and Pisces will be a lot easier, and it will shape you and mold you, and it will feel really good if you allow Aquarius season to just do its thing with you. It's just like what you need from others around you is what Aquarius needs from you. It's what Aquarius says, hey, I know you're this bad bitch. I know you have it handled, but you need to let me help you right now. So if you need to take a couple of days this month to just do you, and even just to be freely creative without any restrictions, or free to relax and just chill, and no need to have anyone needing you. It may be difficult because I know that that's kind of a part of your gig. But the thing is that could be what you need. We'll talk more about it in the second part. So this is the first part. The second part is on Patreon, and it's where I read the cards to you. We go through it a little bit more in depth because then more comes out as well. So essentially, this is all working for you. It's a big ask for someone who has already given so much. But this is only going to give back to you, and I could cry. So we'll talk about it in the second part, because you need this to come back. Energy, power, the beauty, everything. So it's coming back, just like I got a little closer, but it needs you to know that it's like this video. I've been here and there and everywhere and touching my hair, and it's like, that's all of your dimensions. You're working through so many different dimensions, so it may look weird for someone else. Again, but it's not weird to you. You get it. You know what you're doing. Just trust that. Trust your instinct. It's an instinctual time right now for you. But also hard, a little bit of difficult shift, because you need to trust what you've allowed, who and what you've allowed to become support around you. And I know, Cosmic Mama, the earth right now, I know it's hard to trust it, but we all have cycles. We all need to shed. We all have different aspects of ourselves. And you're becoming different, and you need to allow yourself that room to become different. It's just, this part of you has been not as big as it's becoming. It's always been there. All right, that's enough for now. We'll talk about more about that next month. Okay, so this is completely intuitive. I love you so much. I know you could see throughout the video. Yeah. This was interesting. And the second part, link will be below. To work with me one-on-one is below. I love you, and I'll see you next month.